class. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys all about scientific notebooking. So scientific notebooking, I'm thinking is a great time to talk about because we have been talking about vocabulary this week. And when students are being taught vocabulary explicitly, it's nice for them to have a place where they can go and find the vocabulary words or definitions that you've been teaching in your classroom. And the scientific notebook is a great place to keep students' definitions of their new words. This is my scientific notebook. I created this when I was at the Biosphere 2 doing my STEM training for teachers. And so scientific notebooks are awesome because this is something that I cherish and I value and I never am going to get rid of. And students feel the same way. It's like a record of their learning through that year. And it's something that they keep for a long time because it has so many memories tied to it. So let's take a look at a scientific notebook and what we put in it. So in mine, I was there as a student, and so you'll find that I'm doing a lot of things like a student. First tip that I did not do in my scientific notebook was I did not leave any pages for a table of contents. I would recommend that you put the first 3 pages blank so that students have room to include a table of contents. Now you can have them write directly on the lines for your table of contents, or you can print them out a template that they can glue or paste right in here. And what you do with your table of contents is every time you add to your scientific notebook, you add a title here. And you teach students to first add it onto the table of contents and then go to the next page. When students are scientific notebooking, it's really important that they do include the date at the top of each page. You can see I created mine 10 years ago in 2010. Then I have my title. You always, as a teacher, want to keep a copy of the scientific notebook for yourself as well. So you model it on your own notebook, and then you either show it to the document camera, or if you're in a virtual classroom, through your camera, and you show them exactly what you want their page to look like. For students, you should always model turning to the next clean page. Otherwise, you're going to have students jumping around and writing in the middle of their notebook, and it's not going to be organized by that table of contents. Now, what do we use scientific notebooks for? A lot of things. We can use scientific notebooks to record our observations. So in this example, I was doing a fortune teller fish experiment in which there's this little fish you put on your hand and it's supposed to curl up in a different way, and the way it curls up, it tells your fortune. And I was trying to see, why does it curl up in different ways? And so I tried different things like using cold water and seeing what happened to it, or adding ice to it, or adding dirt or oil or heat or warm water. And I was trying to see what these different things caused, that how it caused the fortune teller fish to change. And so you can see I included all of that information. I included my results, and then I had some different notes on um, how I can think of different experiments because I was engaging in this as a teacher, and then some classroom connections. As a student, you would have them record results, you would have them write down any predictions that they have, you'd have them maybe make some connections to other things in the classroom. This page doesn't have very many drawings, but students can be drawing things as well on what they see. So let me give you another example. Here's an example where I was brainstorming some ideas of plants in the rainforest, and this was just a great page for me to have with my brainstorming. You can see on this page I was collecting data and I had a chart. Sometimes this might be a lot for students to write on their own, and you can give them templates that they can put right into their notebook. For example, I was collecting data here and had an observation chart that I was given that I cut out and I glued right into my notebook. You can also include things like, here is the procedures you're going to follow for a different lab, and they can have that in their notebook. Which is really cool about this is when they take this home and it's theirs to keep, they always have that experiment to try again. You can also include some questions or work that you want them to do. So like, for example, here might be my check for understanding, and I would just have students turn in their notebooks. That way I can look at it and see how they're doing and give them feedback right in their notebook. You can include new information for students. So you're in your explain phase. If you're teaching something new and you want them to have maybe a diagram or something, you can include that. Have them either take notes or have the notes already printed out for them, or even do a close activity where the notes are mostly done, but they have to fill in the blank with the word so that they're following along as they're going. My scientific notebook includes a lot of things from observations and data collection, predictions, um, and different things. Sometimes students might just use it if you're asking them to observe. I want you to observe what you see. This is an observation I did at Catalina State Park, and that's my drawing of what I saw when I was sitting there. And so you can use it for drawings. This is especially great when students are observing phenomena in the world around them. So you might go out to the playground and you're looking for erosion on the playground, and you might just ask them to draw pictures of what you notice with the dirt on the playground and how it might be changing from weather. And you might have students drawing cracks in the mud, or you might have them drawing, where they can see the water runoff went or things like that. And so scientific notebook is the no prep, low prep way for teachers to have students record anything in science. And the great thing about it is students are organized and they can always find their materials. So today we're talking about habitats. We wrote down the definitions and drew pictures of those yesterday, and they can't remember what the words mean. So I say just open back up your scientific notebook and go to those words, and then we'll review them. And then they can add on to anything as they're learning more about the words. They might add on to those words in their notebook, and it's right there for them at any time. I do collect student scientific notebooks and give them feedback, whether it's on the work that they're doing or how they're organizing it. Sometimes we have kids who are not very organized or not very messy, and they need feedback on their work on, hey, we need to make sure we're putting the date at the top and the title at the top. I see that you're writing really big or not using the lines, and you would want to give them feedback and show them what a neat and clean scientific notebook looks like. I'm going to share with you guys some digital tools for scientific notebooking, which is really great in both the virtual classroom, hybrid classroom, or the in person classroom if you're a teacher who wants to do low paper, more digital tools. Um, Anyway, that you could do it. What's great about the digital notebooking is a quick copy paste can add notes, definitions, and all of that. Whereas in the physical scientific notebooks, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for students to take notes or write down definitions. If you have any questions about scientific notebooking, don't hesitate to reach out. I hope this is helpful as you're thinking about how you're going to teach science in your future classroom.